Hello and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and today we're with yet another installment of our Free Pattern Friday series, our mini-series called Bubble Blocks. Now, these blocks were a lot of fun to put together, and if you watch the first one, we've sewed all our strings onto coffee filters that I purchased at the dollar store. So now I'm going to show you over the next 3 videos, on the final 3 videos of the Bubble Block series, what kind of quilts I can make with these, and just basically using strings and coffee filters. So it's going to be a lot of fun today. But first I want to introduce you to Sean, the guy who sews. Now his YouTube channel is going to be a link in the show notes below. He's such a nice man, and guys, I want you to go check him out and tell him that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, okay? So come on in, we gotta get some sewing done. Okay, the coffee filters I bought at the dollar store were, a certain size. Now the coffee filters you buy at your dollar store or, might be different. So this is how I found the center. I took them like this and I folded across and I did a little finger pressing here, and then I did a little finger pressing here. Basically I'm leaving little lines for myself. Then I measured from these 2 lines and these 2 lines here to get how big this is. Now, what I did when I did how big this was, this is the size I got. Now this is just like junk you get out of the mailbox, right? Because your postie doesn't know how to read the sign. No junk mail, no unaddressed mail. But anyway, so here we are. Now, what I did is I kind of centered them. And as you go through these, some of them are centered better than others, right? And this is where this becomes a very forgiving little block. Now I just took tailor's chalk, and I'm going to tell you right now, to make the quilt I made, I used up an entire tailor's chalk, and I'm on the last bit of my second one. So you need lots of chalk for this, or some way of marking this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark around the square. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was our Facebook group, where we get to vote on our sew dates, virtual sew dates. So I don't need the chalk or the piece of cardboard anymore. Yeah, if you guys haven't joined the Facebook group, please do. We are making such great use of those rooms. It's wonderful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark inside the square. Okay, and I've left mine go all the same direction. And I just pop them in like that. And then I pinch them a bit and roll them. That's it. And then I do the other side. Now I'm just going to make a little tea cozy. And then, like a little tea, or a hot plate trivet. Hot trivet thing. Something you put on the table and then put a hot pot on top. So just like that. There's one. And I got the other one all ready to go here too. Now, when I did my quilt, I decided I was going to sew all of the pieces into 4 patches, or kind of like 4 patch. Then, because I needed 100 of these. When you see the quilt at the end, when we get to our ta-da moment, you'll see the quilt at the end that I made, a little lap quilt. You need 100 of these string blocks, these circular string blocks, to make this. And I was very surprised, very, very surprised indeed. I kind of dreaded doing this, and then I thought, no, this should be easy to do. And once I sat down and started doing it, I was really surprised how easy it was. So now I've got 4 blocks, and I've got them pinned and ready to go. I find my foot pedal. Now I try not to, I'm going to stay on the inside of the line, because that's going to be consistent. And I try not to go over my pin, and I back stitch a bit just to get this going. There we go. And like I say, you sew with the bigger one on top if they're not the right size, and let the feed dogs do the work. And I need 100 of those circles to make this. So, and now let me just pull that out a bit. There, get this down and close. There we go. Yeah, I was very surprised how fast they came together. And you do have to do your back stitching, front and back. But that's okay, because once you got them together, they go very nicely into a quilt top. Now, okay, here, I'm going to get this off and this off. And I'm going to get that out from underneath. Now, you don't want to handle these too much because there's powder everywhere. The tailor's chalk comes off very quickly. So now I'm just going to open them up just like this and fold them open. Give it a little finger pressing right there. Okay. You don't want to disturb that chalk. Now, when you're finishing your bubble blocks, you put a piece on the back, right? And you can put flannel in if you want, or batting. I wouldn't, because it's very heavy all of a sudden. This thing gets heavy very quickly because you have all the seams already in the blocks. But this does make a lightweight quilt, right? So now what I've done is I've pinned both of them open. I don't know if you can see both of them here, like this, right? So now I'm going to match these ones up like this, because I think that works. And what I'm going to do now is pin on the outside edge. And you do the same thing to the back. You pin on just on the inside, the inside of that corner, and you tip it just like so. And you go to the other side and you tip it. And here we go. Now, where this is, you want to see where your lines are. So you want to match up that line, right, as best you can. And you want to put a pin through all 4 layers. All the layers, all at once. Okay, now, so that's what we got. Okay. There we go. Right across. Right to the middle. And then you back stitch. And hop across. And you back stitch. And go all the way to the far end. Well, one of the things I'm going to say too, the Facebook group there, wow, are they ever making use of the rooms to sew and have fun in? You guys are not involved in the Facebook group? You need to get that in there because that's a lot of fun. So now we're just going to pull this apart, just like that. And we're going to take this out. And now we're going to pin these open. Just like this. Just like that. Now, you would make 25 of these for the quilt. But because I'm only making a trivet to show you guys what to do next, right? You know, you only have to make 4 for this little trivet. But I made 25 blocks where I needed 100 of these circle bubble blocks, right? And now I'm going to find my walking foot, which is right here. Put this in. And I'm going to get my walking foot out because this becomes quite thick. Now I haven't put any batting or flannel into my blocks. Like, I haven't done that, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to top stitch along. I'm going to get this started right at the edge, the best I can at the edge. And then I go back a little bit. Okay, go forward. Now I'm going to push the needle head out of the way. Now I'm going to go through the center. Now this is where you could pull out all sorts of decorative fun stitches that you have on your sewing machine. and it would look lovely. Okay, and we go all the way to the edge. Now I flip directions, and I'm going to start over here. I'm just going around a circle. Now, if you wanted to, you could do all of your 4 patches first, lay them out, and then you'd only have to worry about the joining, how you join them. But you would join them the same way you would join a 4 patch, right? So it's very simple to do. Okay. There we go. And I'm just going to back stitch along a bit. Give it a little encouragement. There. The head of the pin out of the way. Oh, got this out of the way. Because, yeah, we don't need odds and sods of string hanging off it. Okay, now turn it just like that. And start the other direction. And don't go over your pins. Try to avoid going over your pins. You can cause quite a bit of damage to your sewing machine if you break your needle by going over a pin and you can't find that extra piece of metal that has disappeared into your sewing machine. So, there we go. Now give it another pivot. And basically, you end up with a nice little cute orange peel design. And I'll take that pin out. Almost at the end, almost at the end. Just very quick. Some people have done this with denims, and I always thought that would be a really cool idea for, you know, like a good scrap buster if you had a lot of denim, old blue jeans. Like you wouldn't want to use the knee part, you know, because that ends up getting rather weak. There we go. Now, just going to back stitch a bit. And now we get to our great big ta-da moment. And I'm going to show you the quilt I made too. Okay, so here's our big ta-da moment. This is my little trivet. Now, this trivet is okay to put, like, you know, things that aren't like right off the oven or right off the stove. Now, you could put, before you, as you're flipping them and turning them, you could put Insulbrite in or whatever, so that now you have actually like a hot pad that you can lay down on the table and put something hot from the stove on it. I outlined all of the chalk. Now, when I take with this, before I use it and set it with heat, I'm going to throw it in the wash so it gets all washed and cleaned off and it looks great. But isn't that cool how you get that little flower half melon going on? Like I say, people have done this with blue jeans and all the rest of the stuff. I've never seen it done with strings, so I'll show you what I have here. We're just going to give this to my cameraman. Now, I haven't finished this, so it's just all pinned in place. I will finish it this afternoon, but this is what I'm working on. Now, what do you think of that? That's all sorts of blues. It'll look great, and it doesn't have any flannel or any other batting in it, but it's already got some significant weight. Now, oh, I should have showed you the back while I was standing up. Hang on. There we go. There's the back. And it's all of the backs are from my scrap box. So I was able to use strings and scraps up for this little project. So tell me what you think of this. I now have 2 projects left for quilts because I've got a whole stack of black now left, and then I've got a smaller stack of blue, and I'll probably have a smaller stack of black when I'm done. And I'm going to show you yet a 3rd project. But what do you think of this? Like, is this the kind of thing that you would be interested in making? And this came together? I was so surprised how fast and simple it was. So once I finish sewing this, then it goes to the wash to get all the chalk washed off. But, I mean, at this point right now, we're pretty much done. It's just, you know, you basically sew it in place and you're good to go. So I can take my time. And it's pretty much, you follow the same path that you followed for the little trivet plate. So I hope you have an absolute fabulous week ahead. Don't forget to check out Sean, the guy who sews. The link is in his is in the show notes below, as well as the Facebook group and the Instagram and all the rest of the social media stuff. You have an awesome week. Okay, take care. My husband and I would love to thank you for coming along with us on our little fun adventure here that we're having. We do have a Facebook group now, and that Facebook group is got some very, very talented quilters in there, and we love sharing and you know, posting pictures and commenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And the advantage of the Facebook group is sometimes I drop patterns in there early, so you kind of get a hint as to what is coming next. After the nosegay sew along, we're going to be doing curves boot camp right away. So we'll get you sewing those curves, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of interesting little blocks that we've got to work on. But we would like you to share, like, and subscribe. Telling your friends about us and letting them know that you kind of like our channel, that means so much to us here. So you take care. You have a fabulous week ahead. Okay, bye.